Hi, I'm Martin Lapointe, Customer Success Supervisor at Lion6. Lion6 is an innovative North American manufacturer of zero-emission vehicles. We design and manufacture Class 5 to Class 8 commercial truck, as well as all-electric buses and minibuses for the school, paratransit, and mass transit segments. Today I'm going to give you an overview of our Class 6 urban commercial truck, the Lion6. Before looking at the vehicle in details, let's talk specs. The Lion6 offers battery configurations for up to 200 miles or 340 kilometers on a single charge, which is perfect for urban applications. It has a power output of 335 horsepower or 250 kilowatts and an impressive 1,800 foot-pounds of torque available as soon as you hit the accelerator pedal, thanks to our Dana electric powertrain. Our frame and chassis are purpose-built to allow the smart integration of our electric components. The body of the Lion6 is made of a rust-proof composite material, which means your truck will still look brand new 10 years from now. Let's start the overview by taking a look at the vehicle's batteries. From the side of the truck, we can see our battery packs installed across the chassis for optimal weight distribution. Each battery pack has a capacity of 42 kilowatts-hour. On top of the batteries, we have our BTMS condenser, which stands for Battery Temperature Management System. It ensures that batteries are operating at an optimal temperature while the vehicle is driving or charging. Between the frame rails, you can see our Sumo MD electric motor connected to the drive shaft and the TM4 inverter. This is a direct drive powertrain, which means there's no transmission on this vehicle. In front of the battery pack, you have your primary and secondary air tank for your brakes, suspension, and air seat. Above the air tanks, we have a compartment that houses our 12-volt batteries and our kill switch. To open it, simply unlatch the 4 clips on the cover and lift it up. Like so. In this compartment, you'll have 2 12-volt batteries, as well as a kill switch that prevents power from running through the truck. Behind the cabin, you have your cooling system tank that ensures that all electric components are operating at an optimal temperature. Now let's take a look at the other side of the truck. Now let's take a look at what's hiding in this compartment. There's a hinge in the middle, so it opens in 2 parts. Let's take a look at the top part first. Behind that door, you'll find an air dryer and air filter to make sure there's no moisture running through the air lines of the truck. Now let's take a look at the bottom compartment. Behind that door, you'll find the pump for the cabin tilt mechanism. There are 2 ways of operating that pump, one with electric power running through the truck and another one without power. I'll show you both methods in a few minutes. Now let's take a look at the charging port of the truck. In front of the vehicle, you'll find your charging door, which opens by simply pushing on it. And inside, you'll have a level 2 and level 3 connectors to allow fast charging of the truck. At the bottom left corner, you'll find a green light, which will blink when the vehicle is trying to establish a connection with the charging station and will turn solid once charging starts. The 3 marker lights in the middle of the windshield will also act as charging indicators. The first light indicates the charge level from 0 to 33%, the second one from 33 to 66, and the third one from 66 to 100, giving you a quick idea on the charge level of your vehicles just by looking through the window. Let's take a look at the front of the truck. Now, looking at the front of the truck, the first thing people notice is our bright blue bumper, telling people that you're driving an electric truck. It stands out on the road and lets pedestrians know you're coming. In the bumper, we have 2 sensors for our adaptive cruise control system. When activated, they will evaluate the distance between you and the car in front and modulate your speed to make sure you keep a safe distance. On each side of the hood, you'll find 2 deflectors for aerodynamics, and they also redirect the water and grime from the road under the driver and passenger windows for great visibility when you're driving in poor weather conditions. You'll also notice our cab-forward design that was engineered for visibility and pedestrian safety. You'll always be able to see what's in front of you. Now you must be wondering, if the motor is between the frame rails and there's no transmission on this truck, what's hiding under the hood? Well, let's take a look. On each side of the Lion logo, you have 2 handles that you simply pull towards the ground to release the locking mechanism and pull the hood towards you. Now, the first thing I want to point out under the hood of the vehicle is our sound generator. Below 20 miles per hour or 30 kilometers per hour, the vehicle will produce a sound loop, letting people know that you're coming. It was very important for us to include this feature to make sure everyone was safe. Next to the sound generator, you'll have our heating system fluid tank, which you can quickly check through the gauge located at the front of the tank. Below the sound generator, you'll find the button for the cabin tilt mechanism that operates in 2 simple steps. For the first step, follow me to the passenger side. So, as I told you before, in the bottom compartment, you'll find the pump for the cabin tilt mechanism. The first thing you need to do is make sure the valve is to the tilt position by turning it to the right. And then you can go back to the front of the truck and simply push the button to activate the cabin tilt mechanism. Now, to bring the cabin down, the first thing you need to do is just make sure you bring the valve to its original position. And then you can go back to the front of the truck and push the button again until the cabin is completely down. There's also a manual override way of tilting the cabin. Inside the hood, you'll find a little clip that you can simply remove. Bring the metal pipe with you, and in the bottom compartment, just above the pump, you'll have a hole to insert the metal pipe. Make sure the valve is to the tilt position, and then you can pump it manually until the cabin is lifted. Now, back under the hood, below the cabin tilt mechanism button, you'll find your windshield washer reservoir. Very easy to access if you need to fill it up. You'll also notice 2 airbags under the cabin for driver's comfort. And to the right, we have our power steering reservoir, all easily accessible to make driver's life easier. Now let's close the hood and step inside the truck to see all the features that you're going to be using on a daily basis. Remember to have 3 points of contact with the vehicle when climbing in. Now, the first thing you want to do when you step in the truck is to adjust your driving position. Starting with the seat, you have several settings to move the seat forward and backward, adjust your backrest, your lumbar support, as well as your armrest. You can also adjust your steering wheel position. When you pull on the handle to the left of the steering wheel, you can move the steering wheel up and down. And when you push on it, you can bring it closer to you or further away from you. Looking at the steering wheel itself, on the left side, you'll find the button to control the cruise control. And on the right, you'll have the navigation button for your cluster screen. Now let's take a look at the cluster in more details. The first gauge you'll find on the far left indicates your speed. The one right below it shows the temperature of your high voltage batteries. Right next to it, to the right, you'll have another gauge showing you the charge level of your high voltage batteries. To the far right, you'll find your real-time energy consumption gauge showing you how much power is being used when you push the accelerator pedal and how much power is being put back into your batteries when you're using regenerative braking. Now let's take a look at the digital screen in the middle of the cluster. The first gauge on the left shows you your range scenarios. So the bigger number you'll see on that gauge shows you the best case scenario if you're driving your truck responsibly while using regenerative braking to put power back in your batteries. And the lower number will show you the worst case scenario if you're driving the truck a little more aggressively. To the right of that gauge, you'll find an indicator for the charge level of your high voltage batteries. In the middle, you have your speedometer. And to the right, you have an indicator for the temperature of the heating system fluid. In the middle, right below the speedometer, you'll find your gear selector showing you if you're in neutral, drive, or reverse. Now let's take a look at the charge screen. On this screen, you can see the current charge level of your high voltage batteries, your current range, as well as the time remaining to charge the batteries to their full capacity. You'll also be able to see how much power is being drained from the power station while the truck is connected to it. Now looking at the center console of the Lion6 located right in the middle to the right of the driver, on here you'll find a lot of buttons controlling different features of the truck. Right below those buttons, you'll have 2 gauges indicating the air pressure on the tanks located right behind the cabin. You'll also find your stereo system and the control for your HVAC system for heating and AC. The Lion6 is also equipped with 2 12-volt accessory plugs, 2 USB ports, and an OBD sensor to do diagnosis on the vehicle. Last but not least, a button you're probably very familiar with is the air brake, which you activate by pulling on the button and release by pushing on it. The Lion6 is also equipped with all the safety equipment you would expect from a commercial vehicle, including a fire extinguisher and safety triangles located right behind the driver's seat, and a first aid kit that you can find right under the passenger seat of the truck. So that sums up the interior overview of the Lion6. I'll meet you back outside. As you can see, our all-electric Lion6 commercial truck is available and on the road right now. I hope this presentation got you excited about the prospect of adding the Lion6 to your fleet. So make your next move the right one and contact Lion Electric today.